Most agent plugin launches promise one more tool. Qwen-MM-Plugins is aiming at something stranger. Instead of asking you to switch to a new chat app, it tries to turn the harness you already use into a multimodal workstation that can read weird files, remember long videos, edit media, and even talk to Blender or FreeCAD. The footage you are seeing here is all from Qwen's own launch materials, so treat this as a source-grounded review, not an independent benchmark. But even with that caveat, the official demo is ambitious enough that it deserves a proper look. What Qwen actually released is an open-source plugin suite built around the line, make any agent harness multimodal native. The repository description says exactly that. The marketplace metadata is version 1.0.0, and the docs describe 7 plugin surfaces: Core, Video Memory, Video Edit, OmniAV, EDU Agent, Blender, and FreeCAD. That matters because this is not being pitched as one magical new agent. It is a compatibility layer for the surfaces people already use, including Claude Code, Codex, Qwen Code, Gemini CLI, OpenCode, Pi, and QwenPa. The architecture asset is also telling. Qwen is framing this as skills and tools around the harness, not as a separate monolithic product. The core plugin is the part that will probably matter to the widest group of builders. In the official footage, it can browse mixed file types, render documents, read tables, inspect images, and switch between OCR, grounding, ASR, image search, and web search style tools from one surface. The docs also draw an important line here. Native image, video, and document reading can work without a key. That is the good news. The less convenient part is that some of the more advanced paths are not free-floating magic. DashScope is required for advanced vision and generation features, and the bundled web tools need a SERPer key. So the honest read is that the core layer really does look broader than the average plugin launch, but the no-key story applies mainly to the base reading path, not every glossy capability you might infer from the trailer. The long video memory section is where the launch gets more distinctive. Qwen is not only saying, we can summarize a clip. The official demo shows adaptive segmentation and embedding-style memory space, graph-like organization of people and relationships, and question answering over a long video context. That is a much more interesting claim than basic captioning. It is also exactly where the scope boundary matters most. This video can say the official demo makes those behaviors visible. It cannot honestly say they are independently benchmarked on this machine. The docs also note that segmentation requires a self-hosted SAM3 service and a suitable environment, so there is real infrastructure hiding underneath the clean footage. Then the video takes a hard turn into the wild part, creation tools. This is where Qwen-MM-Plugins stops looking like a normal agent plugin bundle and starts looking like a multimodal toolbox. The official montage moves through video editing, an education workflow, Blender, and FreeCAD. The Blender examples are especially revealing because they show visible state changes and final scene results, not only a static promo frame. The FreeCAD side matters for a different reason. A lot of open-source agent demos stay trapped in text and screenshots. Qwen is explicitly pitching real desktop applications and real 3D or CD workflows. That breadth is impressive. It also raises the bar for skepticism, because broader capability means broader setup burden, more moving parts, and more places where a polished first-party demo can outrun what a random builder gets on day one. That setup burden is the part one would not gloss over. The docs are clear that plugin installs are capability-specific, not one universal toggle. Blender and FreeCAD connect to real local applications, and first launch can involve large downloads. Windows support is documented through WSL2 rather than a fully validated native Windows story. And the local evidence collected for this review is deliberately narrower than the launch demo. Inside the source checkout, the project passed a Python compile check plus a focused PyDis slice for repository sync, installer behavior, autolaunch handling, and build merge paths. The actual result was 38 passed, with 1 skipped. That is useful evidence, because it says the reviewed code paths are not obviously broken. It is not the same thing as proving live DashScope calls, full SAM3 segmentation, Blender automation, FreeCAD control, or end-to-end production behavior. So the verdict is fairly straightforward. Qwen-MM-Plugins looks highly ambitious and unusually broad for an open-source plugin suite. The strongest part of the launch is that the official moving demo really does show more than one gimmick. You can see file reading, long video memory, media tooling, and real 3D or CAD application surfaces under one umbrella. The strongest caveat is that the umbrella hides optional services, local app dependencies, large downloads, and first-party claims that still need a narrower hands-on follow-up before I would call them field-proven. If you already live in an agent harness and you want one surface for visual files, long video, and creation workflows, this is absolutely worth watching. If you wanted a zero-setup magic switch, the docs do not support that story. One practical suggestion before installing anything: choose the single workflow that hurts today, then count every dependency needed to reproduce Qwen's clip. If the no-key core reader solves a real file problem, great. If the path quickly expands into cloud APIs, GPU services, and desktop downloads, you have learned the true cost before wiring the whole suite into your daily agent. The official repository is the right next step, and if you want a real follow-up, the smartest move is to pick one capability such as video memory, Blender, or FreeCAD and test that path end to end instead of pretending the whole suite has already been independently certified.